Hello, friends. This is Tony Desan, space rocker of the planet Earth, back with another live video today. It's a beautiful day outside, and this video right here, you probably gonna have want to stick around because this is a kind of a controversial issue that has been going on, especially in the media. In the media, where they tell you what they want you to hear and what they explain to you the things as they want you to believe them, and actually all it is a distraction from the truth. So if you want to take the red pill right now, go ahead and take it. Yep. And I'm talking about something that you might want to stick around for. Is it a mental issue or is it a mental illness? And what is the difference, according to the media, to the fake media, to what they want you to believe? Is it a mental issue or is it a mental illness? Okay, well, they said that according to statistics, over 300 million people around the world are suffering from some kind of depression, which is the main mental issue or illness that they want you to know about. Of course, let me give you the scope here. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a mental health professional, but I've been dealing enough throughout my whole life with all the mental cases that I can give you some experience and tell you what they're trying to convey to you as far as mental issue and mental illness, which are two very different things. If you stick around, you're going to know what is a mental issue, what is a mental illness. Okay? I could easily tell you right now that mental illness is real. Okay? And it's not because you're looking at me and I'm a reflection of it, because I've been dealing with all these doctors. I've been talking to all these doctors for years now. And I could tell you a little story about when my mom took me to one of these doctors and I told them that I wrote 4 symphonies. I had them all written down, ready to be played and everything. Like I was Beethoven or something, or I was Mozart. I was only about 16, 17 years old. And and ever since that, it's been downhill from there. Of course, I'm totally fine, and I know that for sure after dealing with all these doctors and nurses you know, and talking to all these people and actually becoming a counselor at one point. So I can tell you by experience that a mental issue, what they want you to believe, is actually a mental illness. What it is this, okay? They tell you it's a mental issue so that you can keep working. Usually, if you go to work and they send you to, like, say, a doctor, a professional, and the professional says that you have mental issues, you're going to get a note. And that note is going to keep you working. That note's going to say you got mental issues, but they're mild or not severe enough to be a mental illness. Well, there's no such thing as a mental issue. A mental issue is only an issue because it hasn't been diagnosed by a mental professional. So, how a mental professional is going to cover a mental illness telling you that you have a mental issue so you could take that note to work and you can keep working? Okay, and that's what's been happening here in the United States. That's why you have so many people that never get well. They never get well because they are working and trying to work their mental issues while they still at work. And basically, when you have a mental illness, you need peace and quiet, calm, and treatment. And that requires you to go home, miss work, take some medication, and get better. But because of the society that we're living in, especially here in the United States, they want to cover it up and they want to say you have a mental issue and put it in mildly, or oh, the symptoms are not severe enough for you to stop working. But it's a total lie. Okay, it's a total lie because most of us in one point of or another are going to have a mental illness throughout our life. It's a thing that happens. It's nothing to be ashamed about. Okay, maybe too much stress at work, maybe a major event, catastrophic event in your life, maybe something that happened along the way that you weren't expecting, that just took you out of whack, you know, and things happen. And if you don't know how to deal with them, then you're gonna get sick, right? You're gonna get sick. Now, because of the society we live in right here in the United States, they don't want you to stop working. Okay? Especially your boss. Your boss don't want you to stop working because you know you have some emotional distress. Yeah, they don't want that. Okay? So what they're gonna say? They're gonna send you to a doctor they know. Usually that's what happens. They're gonna send you to a doctor they know. You're gonna go to that doctor and you're gonna tell them your whole life story and everything. And then that doctor's gonna call your boss and they're gonna laugh about it. Okay? First of all, they're gonna laugh about it. And second of all, they're gonna say, okay, well, write him a note so that it looks like superficial and he can keep working. You think he can keep working without, you know, getting over here and causing some chaos at the office? Nah, he'll be all right. Okay, fine. Give him some medicine or whatever, and let's keep him working. Good. And that's the way they deal with it right here. Now, in let's say in third world countries, in economically distressed countries where they don't have doctors, or they do, but they don't have people that have the money to go to these doctors and spend time and give them money so that they try to make you feel better and give you all these medications and all that stuff. That doesn't happen in those places. Okay? That doesn't happen in those places. If you have a mental illness in those places, good luck, because you can get worse without treatment. But sometimes they'll try to give you some home remedy or something, some herbs or some mushrooms or whatever they can give you so that you get over it. And some people get over it with natural remedies and some people don't. And the people that don't, they just wildly crazy over there. But it's okay because they know that the family doesn't have the money to deal with it. And it's okay. They can deal with that over there probably better than here. But the reason why I'm making this video today is for you to notice and realize that it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to say something. And it's okay to get off from work. It's okay to take a break if you need to. And don't let them fool you. Don't let them send you to the doctor so that they can tell you that you got mental issues. And then, of course, they even want you to tell everybody about it. Oh, I have a mental issue, you know, or mental issues right now. I'm dealing with that. And everybody's like, yeah, I'm dealing with that, but it's okay. I'll be all right. I'm taking some medication. I'm going to therapy. You know, my boss is paying for it. Yeah, he's paying for it. All right. and and what happens is you're not gonna get better. You're not gonna get better because you have distress in your life. You have to deal with some things. You have to take some time off to rest and deal with all the cortisol levels high that you have, um, all the insufficient imbalances of neurotransmitters that are going on in your brain, and all the chemical imbalances that happen with mental illness, because mental illness is real. It's very real, and it happens. The brain is an organ just like any other organ. If you have, say, diabetes, okay, well, there's some things that you have to take, some medicines. If you don't take those medicines, you're probably gonna end up really bad and end up in dialysis or something. All the organs are gonna start failing and everything, and all of a sudden you're gonna become a mess, and you have to take medication. The same thing happens with brain disorders. Brain disorders happen because of a physical reaction that happens in here. Okay, there's some imbalances of chemicals that go on in the brain that you can't handle it. You don't have the capacity to handle unless unless you have enough experience to say, okay, I know what I have. I know I need to go to the doctor, and I probably need some medication. And if you realize that, then you go and get help. And luckily, over here in the United States, we have a lot of help. But then it's a thin line. It's a thin line. Why it is a thin line? Because the professionals that have 15, 20 years, you know, they got to go to school for 13, 15 years before they become a mental health professional specialist, neuroscientists, psychiatrists, psychologists, um, all these specialized social workers, and all the mental health teams that go in the hospitals. It takes time for them to become that. Of course, it does take time for them to become that, but it also takes time for them to say and diagnose. So if they diagnose that you have a mental issue, good luck to you, because they're going to keep you working. That's what happens with the media here. That's what, and so I don't like it. I don't particularly like it because I know better. I know better. I see in my family. I see it in my friends. And I can, because of experience, not because I'm a health care professional, because of experience with my family and friends, I can tell if somebody is going through a rough time, if they're going through a bad timing. And I can tell if it's a mental issue or it's a mental illness. of course, in reality, there is no mental issues because that's mental issues is a word of the 21st century. When I was growing up, back in the 20th century, seems like a long time ago, right? Back in the 20th century, I never heard of a mental issue. They wanted you to have a mental illness because if you had a mental illness, then they can start prescribing all kind of stuff and experimenting with you. But if you had you never heard the word mental issue. That's just a word right now that, I'm sorry to say it, but that's probably like a millennial word, like something that happened along the way after Y2K. And of course, I've been hearing it all the time, and I want to clarify it. Okay, I want to clarify that if they tell you you have a mental issue at a healthcare, at a mental health care facility, is because they want you to keep working, and they want to actually misdiagnose you with some superficially, bipolar 2 or mild depression, or the good one is like overall or inconclusive anxiety or something, like or an anxiety that everybody gets. Like I'm not sure of the word right now, it doesn't come to my mind, but I know they have something like that where they say, okay, you have anxiety, but it's a normal thing. It's a normal thing because everybody has it, and it's not a normal thing. Okay, it's something that is disrupting your life, disrupting everybody's life around you, and disrupting everything that you could be doing as far as getting ahead in life. And people at work talk about, behind your back and say, oh, he went to the shrink. He went to see the shrink doctor. He went to see the therapist. Or she went to, oh, we knew she was crazy. Right? They all talk behind your back. And some of them are even worse than you, but they all talk behind your back, saying, okay, well, we knew she was a little off, or we knew he was a little off, but hey, they want him to keep working, so be careful. Don't talk to him too much, or don't talk to her too much. And they try to isolate you and marginalize you because, of course, you have that stigma. The stigma of being mentally ill. And mentally ill happens every single day. Mentally ill is a lot of people around the world. And mentally ill is for real. And don't let them fool you anywhere. Mentally ill is not a mental issue. Mental issue is what they want you to believe so that you can keep working. It's just a made up 21st century word. Please pay attention. If you think you're mentally ill, go get help. Go get help. Don't let them tell you have a mental issue and you can keep working. That's what they want you to believe. And by keep working with supposedly a mental issue, all you're gonna do is get worse, and you're not gonna get better. So with this one, I want to say hi to all the people around the world, all the people around the world that follow my music and follow my videos. I know who you are, and I really appreciate it. This is Tony Design, space rocker of the planet Earth, still living in this beautiful planet called Earth. Today, with the message of, is it a mental health case or is it a mental issue? What's the truth? Mental health or mental issue? I'll see you on my next video.